Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Lisa Martin. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please remain seated, thank you. So for about half of my life, I've been here in Hawaii as a child, and then I left and came back. But when I was living in other places, often abroad, where they had a different language, I always made an effort to learn the language, whether I was there for a few months or for several years. And to my shame, one place that I never learned the language was here in Hawaii. I never learned Hawaiian as a child. It wasn't something that was offered in my school, and had I learned it, even though I did have Native Hawaiian friends, I would not have had anyone to speak it with because they also did not speak Hawaiian. The last few years, I have been trying, not very successfully, but trying to learn Hawaiian. And as I was thinking about what to say today, I was cleaning my Olelo Hawaii papers off my desk, and my eyes fell on a song, a mele, that we had used in my class. And for someone who needed a reminder, I had a rough end of the week last week, did not bring my best self here. And these words really spoke to me, and I thought in case they speak to you as well, I would share them. So this is from a song by Honani Apollonia, and it says, I won't sing it, I will spare you that. It says, E hana me ka oia io, e hana me ka ha'a, e olelo pono kako. It means let us work with sincerity, let us work with humility, let us speak with goodness or righteousness. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Martin. Let's move on to item 1, roll call. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu? Mr. Alcos? Ms. Amato? Ms. Bellotti? Mr. Chun? Ms. Cochran? Mr. Evslin? Mr. Ganadin? Mr. Garcia? Mr. Garrett? Mr. Gates? Mr. Hashem? Mr. Holt? Ms. Hussey Burdick? Ms. Ichiyama? Ms. Kahaloa? Ms. Capella? Mr. Kila? Ms. Kitagawa? Mr. Kobayashi? Mr. Kong? Ms. Lachika? Ms. Lamosao? Ms. Lowen? Ms. Martin? Ms. Martinez? Mr. Matayoshi? Ms. Matsumoto? Mr. Miyake? Ms. Mizuno? Ms. Morikawa? Ms. Nakamura? Mr. Nakashima? Mr. Nishimoto? Mr. Onishi? Ms. Peruso? Mr. Pirik? Ms. Poe Poe? Mr. Quinlan? Mr. Saiki? Mr. Sayama? Ms. Souza? Mr. Takayama?
Excuse.
Ms. Takenouchi? Mr. Tam? Mr. Tarnas? Mr. Todd? Mr. Ward? Mr. Woodson? Mr. Yamashita? Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 49 members are present, 2 are excused.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of a communication transmitting the noted Senate bill having passed third reading in the Senate.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Senate bill laying on the clerk's desk pass first reading by title.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the Senate bill laying on the clerk's desk pass first reading by title. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Members, introductions. Representative Cochran.
Mahalo, Speaker. And members, I am very, very honored today to introduce to you, we have to recognize galleries guests in the galleries from Hawaii Okinawa High School Student Exchange Program, HOSEP. This exchange program was established by the state legislature in partnership with Department of Education and the Hawaii United Okinawa Association, HUOA, in 1990. We have visiting the House of Representatives 15 students, the Okinawa DOE Deputy Superintendent, 2 teachers, and 4 HUA representatives. And at this time, I'd like to call out the names of the students. You're already standing. Aloha. And if I can enter their names into the journal.
So ordered.
Thank you very much. We have Ryuto Nakaza, Hozuro Kajiku, Kanta Ikemura, Chise Kadena, Haruka Uehara, Yua Nakadomori, Kaede Fusato, Mion Miyagi, Isaki Mai Hamamori, Onri Yamashiro, Kaho Nagamine, Yonami Tanahara, Rina Kinjo, Sorana Sanechika, Reina Kamiya. And these are the students visiting. I am so honored to have you here. And Aksamiyo, that means, oh my God, in Okinawan. One word I learned while I was there. And at this time, I'd like to recognize District 49 representative to introduce the teachers and the adults in the group.
Representative Matayoshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have a number of other adults in the audience or the chamber as well. Deputy Superintendent Misayo Yamada, Teachers Consultant Jock Madsen, Misato Tech English Teacher Ayano Arakaki, and some HUOA members. You all know Dave Arakawa is here. Former Representative Dennis Arakaki is here. And Eric Nita and Michelle Nita. Thank you. Welcome to your House of Representatives.
Representative Holt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Joining us today in the gallery, we have students from Kamehameha Middle School, Kapalama. These students are joining us here at the Capitol today to learn more about leadership and what we do here at the legislature. We had a good visit with the Lieutenant Governor this morning, as well as watching some hearings and answered some of their questions. So at this time, I'm going to call your names, and please stand and remain standing as I call your names. Colleagues, can we please hold our applause to the end? We have Kahi Konani Aga, Zane Balora, Malia Casamina, Tahaea Casey, Kelsey Corpuz Shibata, Alexa Howe, Ambry Cecily Inouye, Liloa Okochi, Kali Onishi, Rylan Perez, Kiahi Salinas, Sam Sellers, Mia Suki, Anuhea Sueda, Bella Toyomura, and Kala'i Wong. The students are also joined by their Kumus Ray Parker, Kumu Ryan Parker, and Kumu Kaimi Velardes, also accompanied by my office manager, who's a fellow alumni, Mark Clemente. Colleagues, may we welcome them to your House of Representatives. Imoa.
Representative Martin.
Aloha. I wanted to introduce my amazing office staff who's joining us today in the gallery. We have my office manager, Maki'ile Ishihara. We have our session staff, Elima Edwards and Samantha Dowd. I'm so grateful for their help. Mahalo for being here today, and welcome to your House of Representatives.
All right, members, with no further introductions, let's move on to the order of the day. Item 5, Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Report numbers 269-24 through 307-24 as listed on pages 1 through 11, and that the accompanying House bills as may be amended pass second reading and/or be referred to their designated committees.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussions on SANCOM Report 269, SCR 270? Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving to SCR 271, 272. Representative Garcia.
In strong support.
Proceed.
This pilot program to send homeless individuals who are not from here has been quite successful, and I think to send those who are non-local back to where they come from. Thank you.
Representative Pyrick. All right, members, we're going to move on to SCR 273. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Pyrick.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Alcos.
With reservations.
So ordered. Next page. SCR 274, 275. Representative Ward. Okay, moving on to SCR 276. Representative Ward,
Thank you, Speaker. I rise in opposition to this.
proceed.
Mr. Speaker, a few of us were around during the Lingle administration when there was a deep recession. We had to really count on what were basic services because we were running out of money. Since that payroll lag was implemented, every administration heretofore really liked it because, hey, this is $172 million you don't have to pay out. Now, Mr. Speaker, this bill says, hey, we want to do a payroll. Is that you guys or just me?
Alert.
There is an emergency because
Hold
this
on.
takes away money from Maui.
Hold on, Representative Ward. The chair calls
Please.
for a recess. Will the House come to order? Representative Ward, sorry about that interruption. Continue with your comments.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope they find whoever is missing. And I may relate that to what I'm going to say because if we take $172 million out of our budget to do a payroll advance, we're going to be hurting somebody on Maui. And it could be a kid, it could be a missing kid, it could be somebody who lost their family. I really think this is a bad policy and bad timing. If you want to do this, do it when there's a robust budget, not when things are tight and we've got an island that's suffering and not surviving. They need probably about $6 billion. And we want to do a payroll advance. And if you know, payroll advances are hard when you make a mistake to really recall that money. Everybody's adjusted to this since the Lingle administration. Nobody probably other than inside baseball knows about it. So, Mr. Speaker, this is it's a policy to go back to normal, but in terms of timing, it's really, really bad, and we should look bad because it's going to be taking away from Maui. And anybody from Maui who knows about this, I think will be ashamed of us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, members. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Let's move on to SCR 277. Next page, SCR 278. Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Pyrick.
In opposition.
Proceed.
My understanding is that this bill would make it to where if a teacher is being accused of a sexual assault and the investigation is undergoing, if they retire, the investigation is dropped. So for that reason, I would vote no.
Thank you. Representative Ward.
Reservations, please.
So ordered. Moving on to SCR 279, 280. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to SCR 281.
Sorry, Chair, no vote on that last bill.
Chief Clerk, mark a no vote for Mr. Ward on SCR 280. Moving on to SCR 281. Representative Peruso.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker, going back to 280.
280. Go on.
With reservations.
So ordered. All right, let's move on to SCR 281. Next page, SCR 282, SCR 283, SCR 284, SCR 285. Next page, SCR 286, Representative Garcia.
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Pyrick.
In opposition.
Proceed.
This bill would basically pay for all the meals for the kids in the Department of Education, no matter their income level. I don't think it's the job of all of the people of Hawaii to be paying their state income tax towards the meals of the children. Parents should raise the kids, not the government.
Representative Capella,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In strong support.
proceed.
Students can't learn if they're hungry and starving. I think it's important that we ensure that every single child has access to not only a quality education, but the opportunity to really learn that education. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Ward,
Speaker, I rise with mixed emotions on this bill. I support it, but I have some reservations.
standing reservations.
So, okay, I know you're going to put me in favor. But, hey, guys, let's all recall that we have Alice families. When the governor stood there and he said 44% of Hawaii's families are Alice families, 63% of the Hawaiian community are Alice families. We're saying, hey, we don't have enough money in our economy to have a roof over our head and feed our kids. So what is surprising about feeding our kids in school? These kids are not getting it. What I'd like to see as this progresses through our system in the legislature is there'd be some metrics. We should be able to get a GPA or some kind of a measurement that this is helping people to do better in school, because otherwise, as was indicated earlier, if you're hungry, you're not going to be very smart, or you're not going to be very much prone to excel in your academic performance. So, Mr. Speaker, this is good, but I hope it's temporary. We should be able to have an economy that allows people to buy lunch for their kids. I put the burden of proof on this body that we are not diversifying our economy enough to have wages in our families. And this is, by the way, and I'm still talking about this is good. Let's give them a crutch, but let's not wire it to them where it's forever and ever. We've got to get people to be self-confident, independent, and self-reliant rather than government for anything, even including their lunch and their breakfast. It's unfortunate we have to do it. It's a good bill, but it's unfortunate we have to do this. We've got to get a stronger economy to make this not happen perpetually into the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Members with no, Representative Peruso,
I defer to my colleague.
Representative Matayoshi,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is my bill. I think the best way to prevent becoming an Alice family is to get a good education, and the only way you can learn is by, in support. But yeah, the best way to become an Alice family, as the representative from Hawaii Kai is so worried about, is to get a good education, and kids can't learn without food. So pretty simple bill. It sounds like everyone is in favor of, well, it sounds like most of us are in favor of feeding kids. I think this bill is fairly targeted since a lot of Alice families are in the public school system, for better or worse. A lot of wealthier families choose to not send their kids to public schools. So this is a bill, again, targeted at relief. And what better way to spend government money than feeding kids and growing the next generation? Thank you.
thank you. All right, members, let's move on to SCR 287.
Mr. Speaker,
Representative Peruso, do you want to go back to 286?
yes, please.
Okay, go ahead.
So I would just like to enter the words from the Vice Chair of Higher Education and the Chair of Labor into the journal as if they were my own, and also to note that, as the previous speaker mentioned, the majority of our students are actually living in poverty, and the majority of our schools are Title I schools. So that should be some indication to the body that there is a high level of need.
So ordered.
Speaker.
Representative Garcia.
Still with reservations, I do want to say, as somebody who was raised in public housing and with free breakfast and lunch in Hawaii public schools, I appreciate the services that are there for families who cannot afford to pay for their own school lunch. But for families who can afford to pay for it, it should not be the job of every other hardworking taxpayer in this state to cover that. So with reservations.
All right, members. Good discussion. Let's move on to SCR 287, SCR 288, SCR 289, next page, SCR 290, 291, 292. Representative Capella.
On 292, no vote, please.
So ordered. Representative Peruso.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
At the appropriate time, may we go back to 291, please?
All right, members, with no further discussion on 292, let's go back to 291. Representative Ward.
Thank you, Speaker. Stand in strong support, and I'd like to write strong comments into the journal
So ordered.
regarding the revitalization of the business community, which goes back to our previous discussion about why are there so many Alice families? Because we haven't revitalized our economy and did what to do what we are best at. And
Go on, Representative Ward.
I'm reading some silent language from you, sir.
Go on.
Having said that, this is a good bill. We need, again, all boats rise with a rising economy. When our economy is so weak and wages so small, Mr. Speaker, we need bills like this for us to focus our attention on
Point
the
of order.
revitalization of our business
I
community.
believe we are on the wrong bill, referring to,
I said 29,
we're on,
291. I asked him to go back
Oh,
to
yes,
291,
we're on
Madam.
291.
Madam, I asked him to go back to 291. We are at 291. Now, if you didn't like what I said,
Representative
I'll repeat
Ward,
it. I'll
let's-
repeat what I said. We need to revitalize our economy. If we're going to get rid of Alice families, we got to get income.
point of order. 291 is relating to the criminal history record checks.
Oh, sorry, it's 292. Oh, my God. Everything I said, just transfer it back 292.
Okay, Representative Ward. We're moving on to 292. All right, moving on to SCR 293. Next page. SCR 294. 295. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. SCR 296. 297. Next page. 298. 299. 300. 301. Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Next page. 302. 303. Representative Pierrick.
No vote.
So ordered. Moving on to SCR.
Speaker,
Representative Ward.
303, a no vote, please, with a very, very brief comment.
Proceed.
Why do we want to embarrass the police with a bill like this? They're the ones who watch over us. Why should we want to embarrass them with this ethical auditing of what they do? Thank you.
Representative Garcia.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Alcos.
No vote.
So ordered. Representative Matsumoto.
Reservations.
So ordered. All right, members. Representative. Okay, moving on to SCR 304. 305. Representative Garcia.
With reservations.
So ordered. Representative Pierrick.
In opposition.
Proceed.
This bill would spend tax dollar money on creating more government, more positions in the Department of Housing to solve the housing crisis. The problem with the housing crisis in Hawaii is the government, so more government isn't going to solve the issue.
All right, members, let's move on to the next page. SCR 306, 307. Representative Peruso,
Sorry, on 306,
proceed.
may I just with reservations.
So ordered. Representative Capella,
Same request.
so ordered. Representative Souza,
Mr. Speaker, at the appropriate time, can we go back to 289?
let's finish 306. And then 307. And then Representative Souza, SCR 289.
Yes, 289. Thank you. I would like to input a with reservations vote on this, and also a request for a ruling on a potential conflict.
State your conflict.
My cousin is the chair of the Hawaii Correctional System Oversight Commission, and this bill pertains to them.
Representative Souza, Chair states no conflict. Based on your disclosure, the measure affects a broad class of individuals and entities. The ruling will stand until Sendai.
Thank you.
All right, members, I believe we covered everything. Chair will call a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. Motion is carried. Item 6, Mr. Clerk, are there any resolutions for action?
Mr. Speaker, there are no resolutions for action. May all others be referred to print.
So ordered. Item 7, members, are there any announcements? Representative Tarnas.
Thank you. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary and Hawaiian Affairs requests a waiver of the 48-hour advance notice for the purpose of conducting a committee meeting for the purpose of decision-making only on House Bill 1651 HD1 relating to the safety of educational workers.
So ordered.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Decision-making will be held on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024 at 2 p.m. in Conference Room 325. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Gates.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Agriculture and Food Systems requests a waiver of the 48-hour notice requirement for the purpose of hearing and having decision-making on HB 1525 relating to the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program incentives. The hearing will be held tomorrow, February 14th at 9:15 in room 325 with decision-making to follow.
Hold on, Representative Gates. I'm going to just take a recess for a second. Members, recess. Will the House come to order? Representative Gates, for your request, could you state it again?
The whole request or just the bill?
The whole request, please.
Okay. Your Committee on Agriculture and Food Systems requests a waiver of the 48-hour notice for the purpose of hearing and having decision-making on HB 1525 relating to the Supplemental Nutrition Program incentives. This bill appropriates funds to the Department of Agriculture for the continued administration of the Hawaii Healthy Food Incentive Program and to provide matching funds to beneficiaries who participate in the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. The hearing will be held tomorrow, February 14th at 9:15 in room 325 with decision-making to follow.
So ordered.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, members, any other announcements? With no further announcements, Representative Morikawa to adjourn.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand adjourned until 12 o'clock noon tomorrow.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.